You know, everything will come to an end. The sugar, the tea, the dried sage, the water. Just go to the market and restock. Even your shadow will abandon you when there is no light. So just keep things that require only you. The book of poems that only you can decipher. The blank map of a country whose cities and villages only you can recognize. I've personally lost 3 friends to war, a city to darkness, and a language to fear. This was not easy to survive, but survival proved necessary to master. But of all things, losing the only photo of my grandfather under the rubble of my house was a real disaster. Thank you. Next one is, this is a long poem. It's called Under the Rubble. And this was written during the ongoing genocide. Under the rubble. She slept on her bed, never woke up again. Her bed has become her grave, a tomb beneath the ceiling of her room, the ceiling a cenotaph. No name, no year of birth, no year of death, no epitaph. Only blood and a smashed picture frame in ruin next to her. In Jabalia camp, a mother collects her daughter's flesh in a piggy bank, hoping to buy her a plot on a river in a faraway land. A group of mute people were talking sign. When a bomb fell, they fell silent. It rained again last night. The new plant looked for an umbrella in the garage. The bombing got intense and our house looked for a shelter in the neighborhood. I leave the door to my room open so the words in my books, the titles and the names of authors and publishers could flee when they hear the bombs. I became homeless once, but the rubble of my city covered the streets. They could not find a stretcher to carry your body. They put you on a wooden door they found under the rubble. Your neighborhood, your neighbors, a moving wall. The scars on our children's faces will look for you. Our children's amputated legs will run after you. He left the house to buy some bread for his kids. News of his death made it home, but not the bread. No bread. Death sits to eat whoever remains of the kids. No need for the table. No need for bread. A father wakes up at night, sees the random colors on the walls drawn by his 4-year-old daughter. The colors are about 4 feet high. Next year they will be 5. But the painter has died in an airstrike. There are no colors anymore. There are no walls. I changed the order of my books on the shelves. 2 days later, the war broke out. Beware of changing the order of your books. This is something really happened. I reordered the books on my shelf and then it was Victoria's. What are you thinking? What thinking? What you? You? Is there still you? You there? Where should people go? Should they build a big ladder and go up? But heaven has been blocked by the drones and F-16s and the smoke of death. This was posted on the New Yorker's Instagram page and it got a lot of hatred from Zions, but it got a lot of support. But anyway, my son, it had got more support than most of the New Yorker's posts, by the way. So, because people say, oh, people in Gaza care about dogs. No, we don't care about dogs. We just care about our land. My son asks me whether when we return to Gaza, I could get him a puppy. I say, I promise, if we can find any. I ask my son if he wishes to become a pilot when he grows up. He says he won't wish to drop bombs on people in houses. When we die, our souls leave our bodies, take with them everything they loved in our bedrooms, the perfume bottles, the makeup, the necklaces, and the pen. In Gaza, our bodies and rooms get crushed. Nothing remains for the soul. Even our souls, they get stuck under the rubble for weeks. next poem. And this is a poem that I wrote again and again, 2 years before October 7th. And I said it once and I said it again, that the instruction that I was giving to people in Gaza are no longer functionable during the ongoing genocide, because nothing in this poem works today. But I wrote this poem after the May 2021 attacks. What a Gazan should do during an Israeli airstrike: turn off the lights in every room, sit in the inner hallway of the house, away from the windows, stay away from the stove, stop thinking about making black tea, have a bottle of water nearby big enough to cool down children's fear, get a child's kindergarten backpack and stuff tiny toys and whatever amount of money there is, and ID cards, and photos of late grandparents, aunts and uncles, and the grandparents' wedding invitation that's been kept for a long time. And if you are a farmer, you should put some strawberry seeds in one pocket and some soil from the balcony flower pot in the other, and hold on tight to whatever number there was on the cake from the last birthday. Okay. 2 more poems. Good. خلاص تمام. مش ناخد وقت كتير يعني. Okay, 2 more poems, unless people want a specific poem, which is silence. Okay, so there are 2 poems that I really hold tight to in my heart, because they carry a lot of meanings to me. One is called Right or Left, and this poem is about a girl that I know, and there are so many other girls, who are still buried under the rubble of their house since last November. And I'm talking about, I forget her first name. She is the sister of a friend of mine who was killed in an airstrike. I showed you a photo of him, Ismail Abu Ghabin. I forget his sister's name. But she and her brother, my friend Ismail, and the father are still buried under the rubble since last November. So left, right or left? Under the rubble, her body has remained for days and days. When the war ends, we try to remove the rubble, stone after stone. We only find one small bone from her body. It is a bone from her arm. Right or left, it does not matter as long as we cannot find the henna from her neighbor's wedding on her skin, or the ink from a school pen on the little index finger. The moon. This is the last one. Okay. And I'm not sure if some of you heard me. It gave the context of this poem. But it's also about the people who were starving to death, to the extent that even animals were starving. And whenever a cat or a dog finds the body of someone in the street, they start to eat the bodies. So this poem is about a cat which was eating from the body of someone, and it's also about a girl and her father who were killed in the street and whose bodies remained in the street for weeks, and they were